place on Fairbrook where they have that barn behind that energy efficient house. It looks to me like it's taller than the barn on Randolph Street or Linden Street there. I mean, you know which one I mean?
I haven't measured.
If you look straight back, there's a, it's built as if it's an old barn.
I haven't taken measurements of that. I don't know.
It's actually outside of the historic district.
Of course. That's why it looks historic.
Yeah.
But
well,
also I'd like to...
It's been in place for quite some time, 14-foot high.
Right. And the very purpose is exactly what you said. The idea is to not build a garage today that's so tall that then we end up with a residence in the back of a building, and that's been something that
Reuse, I don't mean
actually who can tell us a lot
You have to, when you build new, effectively on building. Patterson, 527 West Dunlap. You have to meet code. I mean, that's given. It's a little different situation here.
You know what, I guess I'd like to explore meets code, doesn't meet code. I would suspect that if you had a structural engineer go through all the historic houses in our district.
Thank you.
They would come back.
You don't want to go to my garage.
No. So my question, well, I made a comment that, you know, we run the risk of if we take it apart, that's going to end up like the barn on Cape.
Okay, Mark. One more, Chris. Just thinking through the process we did it.
Could you give your...
Yeah, it's Keith Patterson. You got me the first time? Yeah. Okay, sorry. What we did find, and we did reuse quite a bit of, a lot of the structural numbers, I did find in the whole process that the inspection process here is very sympathetic toward preservation. And they really worked with us as long as we had a good conversation, a dialogue going, saying, here's what we're going to do, this is what we'd like to do, and then it progressed very well. And so it wasn't, I never felt like it was somebody working against us trying to preserve what we had. And I think you'll find that, but it takes a little more due diligence, a little more time, and it's not just, crumble the building and start over. But it's worth it, it really is.
I hear what you're saying, but I think that could be part of the overall inspection and reapplication on this matter.
Yeah, so you're advocating, what you're saying, Chris, you're advocating don't touch anything right now. Let's have those other research steps reviewed and then come back to us with that information. And at that point, you'll be presenting to us either, I guess, different options, right? The option may be, we had another expert come out at it, and yes, indeed, the sill plates are rotted, X, Y, Z. It's really unsafe and can't be rebuilt. The second option may be we can reinforce it as it exists from the inside out, not dealing with the outside, and we want to remove the carport. The third option may be we're coming back to you saying, looks like we can take the barn apart and rebuild it on site as is without the carport. I guess I see those as
without the carport and then ask for the variance.
Yeah, and then the variance on that third option.
They're kind of linked together.
Yeah, they are. It's kind of like a progression kind of an issue. You have to start with the safety inspection. So
we may find somebody that wants to buy it and move it.
Or buy it on site. Maybe somebody will want to buy that lot.
I think that's one thing when you buy a home or when you buy a property in the historic district. I mean, I would love it to park garage, but I can't tear down my garage.
Thank you.
Just one other comment. Tom Berry, 239 High Street. It seems like the conversation has gone to, whether or not we preserve something that's historic versus whether or not it's a financial hardship to somebody who purchased it. And as some of the people here had mentioned, owning an historic home or barn is a financial hardship. So there was a comment by one of the commissioners that said, well, let's see how much money it costs to fix it. And then we'll decide based on how much money it costs to fix it.
Well, let me just correct you.
Okay, well, that's what I thought you were saying.
I suggested that Walt come back with some dollar amounts. I had never said that. The decision would be based on how much it costs. So.
in just one, I've been in the construction industry my whole life. I'm not in the historic renovation portion of, nor am I an architect, I'm an engineer. And I have an old house, it's a 170-year-old home. You mentioned that you would be able to find additional people that would say that the barn is structurally unsound, and I'm sure you could find those people. There's a thing called prejudicial testimony, too, that somebody once told me.
No, that's not what I said.
Well, I guess all I'm saying is that for every person you found that said that it was structurally unsound, I think you could find somebody that says, but I could fix it, is my point.
Oh,
And then we're back into the financial piece.
yeah, you can fix anything,
Yeah.
you can build
Okay.
anything today. And the
That's just my
architect
point.
I can build anything.
Um,
I can build a Space Needle 27 stories high with a 10-foot foundation. It's just a matter of,
Correct. The
but
financial piece.
the point I would want to make to you is that I would take offense to the fact if you felt that my personal integrity here for this community for 36 years, having my office here for 27 years, would be challenged the fact that I would have a falsified structural engineering report.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm
Okay.
saying that I'm sure
I feel better.
you have, I'm sorry, if I didn't mean it that way.
That's the problem when we got all worked up with emotions.
No, well, we're clearing that up, Chris.
Right.
Yeah,
We're clearing that
that's
up.
why I wanted to have independent, and would love to have independent review from either the city or they hire a consultant.
Well, then, with your permission, we'll have the application withdrawn pending that review by the structural engineer.
That sounds fine to me.
Okay, so we're all set.
Anything else?
And just a final comment for the audience, I appreciate all of you coming out tonight. First of all, being respectful as we had dialogue with the commission and raising your questions and your issues. So I'm sure you all will be back at the next meeting when the applicant comes back with the information. So, yeah, thank you for your time.
Okay.
So our next step is,
Next
make
step.
an appointment with somebody from the city?
Right, we'll have contact with the city manager.
Okay.
I'll try and get a hold of them. That's the all day of a no job. All day tomorrow. I can probably tell you sometime Friday.
Yeah, so we'll make contact with the city manager.